What is going on, college basketball fans? Today we're doing tier rankings for college basketball, and as you can see, we have most, if not all, Division I college basketball teams here to rank today. We have our tiers set. We have Final Four, which I'm thinking I'm only going to put 4 teams there right now, and it's going to be the teams that are playing the best right now, the top 4 teams, in my opinion, right now. Then we have the elite tier, teams that just missed the cut for Final Four but are still elite, might have championship level potential still. We'll talk about it when we get to those teams. Good teams, teams that are well in the tournament but not quite, not quite to the level to where I think they're going to be like Final Four, championship level good. Then we have bubble teams that are on the bubble of making the tournament, could get a few wins in the tournament, but, nothing too crazy. Teams that will miss the tournament, and then our final tier is teams that just should honestly disband the program. They're not very good at all. So, I'm ready to get it started. Our first team, we do have the Georgia Bulldogs, and the Georgia Bulldogs have actually been playing pretty decent this season, surprisingly, and they have been losing a little bit as of late. Right now, do we want to put them on the bubble because they have had, quite a decent season? I'm going to say they're going to miss the tournament, though, so I'm going to have them just under the bubble and at the miss. So I'm going to try to keep it brief for each team. We have a lot of teams to get to, so I don't want this video to be super long. So we'll go ahead and get on to the next one. Nebraska. Honestly, Nebraska's not too bad, so I'm not going to have them disband their program, but they're not going to be in the tournament. They did beat teams, like Creighton this year early on, so they're going to miss the tournament, though, so I'll have them there. Rutgers. Okay, Rutgers, pretty good team. I would say they are a top 5 team pretty easily in the Big Ten Conference. One of the best defensive teams in the country, and I thought they were, but then they go and give like 90 points up to Iowa. So I don't know about this Rutgers team. I think they're pretty good. I'm going to have them in good right now. I think they're in the tournament. I don't think they're like on the bubble quite yet, although you could make that argument. They've gotten some good wins, of course a win over Purdue. I think that's going to help them a lot. I think they're well in the tournament right now. I'm going to have them as a good team because they are a very good team. Next up, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide, and this is the first one where I'm like, okay, Alabama, they could legitimately win the championship this year. Like, they have that type of potential, and right now, the way that they are playing, I know that they just had their loss there to Oklahoma by like 30, or I think it was they cut it to like 21 or so by the end, but I'm going to have them in my Final Four right now. They're playing like a top 4 team in the country 100%. They have a win over Houston on the road. They're playing amazing, and they bounced back from that 20-point loss with a 50-point win over Vanderbilt. Very impressive. I think that was a statement win. Alabama is in my Final Four right now. Next up, we have Arizona, which is very, very interesting, and I might move some of these teams as we get down to it. But right now, Arizona might be up there with Alabama, honestly. They're playing really well. Turbellis just had a 40-point game. They're starting to get, on a little bit of a win streak. And although they have been somewhat inconsistent, losing to teams like Oregon, Washington State, Utah, I still think Arizona is super good. I think right now I'm going to stick them in the elite. They definitely are a team that have Elite 8, Final 4, championship level potential, but since I only want to put 4 teams out of all these teams in my Final Four, we're going to stick Arizona in elite right now with the possibility of moving them up as we go on through. So next up, we do have Auburn, and Auburn is a team, they were looking really good. They went on a 2-game losing streak, and then they just played Tennessee really close yesterday. So where do I want to stick Auburn at this point? I think I'm going to stick them in the good tier. I think that's a good spot for them. Although, a couple more losses, they could go back down to the bubble. I'm not too high on this Auburn team, but I do think they are well in the tournament, and it is possible they could get a couple of wins, 1 or 2 in the tournament. But I don't see them going past like the Sweet 16. I'm going to stick them there in the good tier. Next up, we do have the Baylor Bears. And right now, looking at Rutgers, looking at Auburn, I would personally say that Baylor is a way better team than teams on that tier. I'm going to stick Baylor in the elite tier. I think Baylor, the way their guards are playing, the way Keontae George has kind of taken the reins of that Baylor team and become the leader. I think Baylor has Final Four level potential this season, and they've been turning up as of late. I think Baylor is an elite team right now. Next up, we have BYU. BYU is interesting. Interesting. They're not bad there in the West Coast Conference at all. They played St. Mary's super close. They played Gonzaga really, really close. But I don't believe BYU is going to make the tournament this year, so I'm going to have them just outside the bubble here, missing the tournament this season. And next up, we have Cal. You guys gotta know already where they are going to go. Cal needs to disband the program. I don't know how their coach still has a job. I don't think that they care about not only their college basketball team, but any of their athletics. Cal needs to disband their college basketball program 110%. Next up, we got UConn, and UConn's a team that has a ton of potential, but as of the moment of recording this video, which is, February 5th, they're playing not that great. So I'm going to have to stick them on this level of Rutgers and Auburn and say they're a good team. They're going to make the tournament. They have potential to, they could win a game or two at this point. But, even though I'm high on UConn getting things turned around, I keep saying that, but they just can't seem to get things back turned around. So I'm starting to lose hope on UConn. I have them in the good tier for now. Next up, we have Dayton in the A10 conference, which, is not a good conference. They've been playing better as of late, but they didn't have a very good non-con. And it's also teams like VCU are kind of taking control of the A10 conference, even though it's not that good. Dayton, I'm going to have them miss the tournament. I think the A10 is a one-bid league. I don't think they're going to be a bubble team. I think only the team that wins the A10 tournament will get in, so I'm going to have Dayton miss the tourney. Next up, we have the DePaul Blue Demons, and they're definitely missing the tournament. Should they disband their program? That is the question. Since they did lose to Georgetown, and that was Georgetown's first Big East win in like 27 Big East games, I'm going to say DePaul should disband their program. But then again, they did beat Xavier after that. So I still think DePaul should disband their program. They haven't been very good in the Big East, ever. Like, in a very long time. So I'm going to say DePaul, they need to disband their program. Next up, we have East Carolina University. They're not very good in the AAC. I'm going to say East Carolina also should probably disband their basketball program. They're really a basketball team for sure. And next up, we have East Tennessee State. And honestly, East Tennessee State, don't know too much about this team right now this year. They might have to disband their program, but right now I'm just going to say they're going to miss the tournament because I know that for sure. Next up, we do have the Florida Gators. They just got a big win over Tennessee this week, but still they're not going to make the tournament. I don't think Florida is very good this year. They shouldn't disband their program, though, but they are going to miss the tournament. Next up, Georgetown. I put DePaul down here, and we're going to have to put Georgetown down here as well because Georgetown definitely needs to disband their program. Similar to Cal, how does Pat Ewing still have a job? I know it's a little bit different because he's such a historical figure in not only Georgetown program, but also just college basketball. But Georgetown needs to disband their program right now, definitely. Next up, we do have Gonzaga. Gonzaga is interesting. I'm between elite and good for them. I think they deserve to go up into the elite spot. I think With the championship being so wide open so far this year, I think Gonzaga, has a chance to go far this year, even though it is a weaker Gonzaga team than we're used to seeing. I still think they're an elite level team. Next up, we do have the Fighting Illini, and they had a really good start to this year. They have a good win over Texas, who is, first place in the Big 12 right now. But, they kind of went on a little bit of a losing streak there. They're starting to get it back. I'm going to say Illinois is a good team right now. I think they're going to make the tournament for sure. Next up, we have the Kansas Jayhawks, and they just took a loss yesterday to Iowa State on the road. Right now, I'm going to say Kansas is on the elite tier. I don't think I can put them in the Final Four, my top 4, as of this video. So I'm going to put Kansas there at the elite tier. Again, that elite tier, some of these teams might have championship potential, but as of recording this video, this is how I feel. They're not in my top 4 teams. Next up, we do have LSU. LSU, they're going to miss the tournament. They were looking good to start the year in the non-con, but it hasn't looked good recently, not at all. Next up, we have Marquette. Marquette's a very good team, and I'm actually going to have Marquette as an elite level team this year. I do think that they could get to the Elite 8 and, go on a run this year. I think Marquette right now might be the best team in the Big East Conference and the team that I'm most confident in making a run out of the Big East. So I got to have Marquette up in the elite tier. Next up, we do have Maryland, and I think Maryland's going to be my first bubble team. Maryland's going to be my first bubble team. I think they're close to the bubble. They might be like an 8, 9, 10 seed, somewhere in there, and you might consider that, well in the tournament. But they've been so wishy-washy this year. They got off to like an undefeated start. They started losing a lot of games, and they did just beat Indiana this week. But Maryland's so wishy-washy. I'm going to have Maryland as a bubble team right now. Next up, we have the Memphis Tigers, and right now, I think I'm also going to have Memphis as a bubble team because they just took a loss at home to Tulane. Tulane's not a bad team at all, but I think Memphis is going to be close to the bubble this week. I think Memphis should be on the bubble, close to making it in, but I don't feel comfortable, super confident in them, for sure being in at this moment in time. So I'm going to have Memphis here on the bubble. Next up, we do have Michigan, and Michigan's a team, they got a good win over Northwestern this week, but do I trust them to really continue to get on a win streak and make it the tournament? I don't know. I think it's going to take a pretty decent run in the Big Ten tournament along with a late season win streak for them to get in. I'm going to have Michigan miss the tournament. Next up, we have Minnesota, and Minnesota needs to disband their program. Minnesota basketball is not real. It's not a real thing. They need to disband their program for sure. Next up, we have the Missouri Tigers, and I'm going to have Missouri in the good tier. I think Missouri, I think they're well in the tournament right now, and great job by Dennis Gates. Dennis Gates has been a very good coach for them in his first year coming over from Cleveland State. Missouri, very solid team this year. They're in the good tier right now. Next up, we have the Nevada Wolfpack, and this is interesting because the Mountain West, where am I going to put these good teams in the Mountain West? I think Nevada, they've gotten 2 really good home wins as of late against San Diego State and also New Mexico in close games. I think they struggle more on the road there in the Mountain West against the good Mountain West teams. I think I'm going to have Nevada in the bubble right now. I think I'm going to have them on the bubble. I think they're really close to being in the good tier, but right now they're on the bubble. They got some good wins lately. Keep it up. They're on the bubble. I'd say they're on the right side of the bubble, but right now I would have Nevada in the tournament, but yeah, on the bubble though. New Mexico State, definitely a miss on that one. Northwestern, is Northwestern gonna make the tournament, guys? I don't know. They were playing really good. They lost to Michigan. I'm going to say Northwestern's on the bubble right now. I would say they're on the outside of the bubble right now, but I will put them in the bubble because they've had a pretty decent season. We'll see if they can keep it up. Ohio State, definitely missing the tournament. They are not a good team this year. And honestly, they lost to Minnesota this year, so they should probably disband their program. But since I'm a nice guy, I'm going to say I'm just going to put them in the miss tier. Next up, we do have Oklahoma. They just got destroyed by West Virginia by 30 points yesterday. Oklahoma is not making the tournament playing like that. They do have a really good win over Alabama, and you could say that maybe they're a bubble team, but they're just getting destroyed by Big 12 teams lately. Two other bubble teams in West Virginia and Oklahoma State destroyed them back-to-back games this week. Oklahoma is not making the tournament. Next up, we do have Oregon, and Oregon's a team that I could see making a late run this season and possibly getting in as a bubble team. But right now, as of recording this video, I'm going to have them missing the tournament just on the outside. Next up, we do have Penn State, and Penn State, I think, is a really good team. They have Jalen Pickett, who's one of the best players in college basketball, averaging like 17, 8, and 8. I really like watching him play. I really like Penn State this season, but I'm going to have them on the bubble. I think they're in a similar spot to Northwestern. They need to try to get some consistency there in the Big Ten, so I'm going to have Penn State right on the outside on the bubble. Next up, we do have the Purdue Boilermakers, and Purdue's going to be in my Final Four at this point. I think they're one of the top 4 teams. Even after that loss yesterday to Indiana, Purdue is still looking like a very, very solid team. If it wasn't for, them having double the turnovers, double the missed free throws in that Indiana game, I think, and Purdue still was in it all the way throughout. They started to come back in that one, and that one was on the road. So some mistakes like that. Also, they were struggling a little bit shooting in that game, but so wasn't Indiana from behind the three. I still think Purdue right now is the top 4 team to me. I'm going to have them in my Final Four. Next up, we have St. Mary's, and as I'm recording this video, they are still playing against Gonzaga right now, and it was a pretty good game, so I'm excited to get back to that after I finish recording this video. But St. Mary's, I think they're well in the tournament right now. I think they're well in the tournament. I don't think they're necessarily elite tier. I know I have Gonzaga in the elite tier, so that's going to look a little bit weird if St. Mary's wins that game, which it was, they were starting to come back a little bit once I started recording, so we'll see, but I'm going to have St. Mary's in the good tier right now. I'm going to have St. Mary's in the good tier. I don't think I can put them as an elite level team, and honestly, I could move Gonzaga down, but I'm going to keep Gonzaga up there. I think they have more potential to go deep than St. Mary's, even if St. Mary's is able to beat Gonzaga here today. Next up, we have South Carolina. They're missing the tournament. I'm not going to have them disband the program. They play a lot of those SEC teams pretty close, so I'm going to have South Carolina just missing. And then we have South Florida Bulls. South Florida Bulls, they're not going to make the tournament. But unlike ECU in the AAC, South Florida, they're not that bad. So I'm going to have them in the miss tier. They don't need to disband their program, though. St. John's. St. John's, I think they're going to get a new head coach next year. Will that be Rick Pitino? Possibly. I think that would be really cool to see. I hope it happens. I'm going to have them in the miss tier. I thought that they would be a bubble team this year and maybe be able to get in the tournament, but ever since Big East play hit, they've been losing bad, man. They've been losing bad. Next up, we have the Texas Longhorns. Texas is very, very interesting. I think I'm going to put them up in the elite tier, but they got a really good win over Kansas State on the road today, and right now, especially with Kansas losing to Iowa State, they also have sole possession of the first place spot in the Big 12. Now, if Texas beats Kansas this upcoming week, I think Texas deserves a spot in the Final Four doing these tier rankings. Also, let me know in the comment section, do you guys want to see these tier rankings as like a weekly thing or like a every couple of weeks thing? Let me know in the comment section. Next up, we have Tulane. They just defeated Memphis on the road in overtime. Tulane's a pretty solid team, man. Tulane's a pretty solid team. I think you could argue they could possibly be a bubble team, but I don't think they're going to make the tournament. I don't think they're on the bubble right now. I'm going to have them like towards the top of the miss tier. Next up, we do have Tulsa, and Tulsa, honestly, not that good. I'm definitely having them in the miss. Should they disband their program? Maybe. I'm going to have them in the miss tier. Next up, we have UCLA, and UCLA, I'm going to put them in the elite tier. I think they've shown flashes to where they can go far this year in March Madness, definitely on the elite tier right now. Next up, we do have USC, and USC, I believe, is the third best team in the Pac-12 conference. Now, should they go on the good tier? I'm looking at the good tier right now, and I could say maybe they're in that. I think they're well in the tournament. I'm going to put them on the top of bubble, though. I think they're still closer to the bubble right now, but if they can continue to get rack up some of those wins and they don't choke against any of these teams they're supposed to beat, which is pretty much every team except UCLA and Arizona, then they can climb back up. Right now, I'm going to have them at the top of the bubble section. I think they should get in, but I think they're closer to around the bubble. Next up, we have Utah State, a very solid team in the Mountain West, but this is the like fifth best team in the Mountain West in my opinion. I think the Mountain West is getting 4 teams in. I think Utah State barely misses out. I'm going to have them in the miss section. But very good team. Very good team. They're very similar to Tulane for me. I think Tulane's a solid team. I think Utah State's solid. I just think they're like one of those teams in their league. They're just not going to get in. So I'm going to have Utah State out. Vanderbilt next up. And Vanderbilt, not completely trash, but they need to disband their program, and here's why. They lost to Alabama by 57. They got to disband their program after that. After that, you have to disband their program. So, next up, we have VCU. And VCU, I mentioned earlier with Dayton, I think the A10 is a one-bid league, and right now VCU is riding. They got a really good win over St. Louis on the road this week. So I'm going to have VCU on the bubble because I believe they're the only A10 team that are getting in right now. So they're in at the bubble tier. Next up, we have the Vermont Caramounts. And Vermont, usually a pretty solid team, although their league is also a one-bid league, so they're going to have to win their conference tournament to get in. So right now, I'm going to have them missing the tournament this season for right now. Next up, we do have Villanova, and Villanova definitely missing the tournament this year. Have been one of the probably the most disappointing team in the country for me this year. Next up, we have Washington State. Washington State missing the tournament. I would say they should probably disband their program, but they do have a win over Arizona this year, so sometimes they find a way. I'm not going to have them disband their program just yet. Next up, we do have West Virginia, and West Virginia is a clear bubble team right now, especially after that win over Oklahoma where they won by 30 this week. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're looking like they're on the good side of the bubble right now, but still a bubble team. Next up, we do have Wichita State. Wichita State in the AAC. They have one of the hardest places to play in the AAC conference when that place is bumping. I was watching them play Houston this week. That atmosphere was electric. Couldn't beat Houston. I'm going to have them missing the tournament for sure. Next up, we do have the Wisconsin Badgers, and honestly, Wisconsin took a downhill turn this season. They were looking like they were a team that's going to make the tournament, but as of late, I don't think so. I'm going to have them missing the tourney. Next up, we do have Central Florida, and Central Florida, I'm kind of feeling a similar way to them as I do about Tulane and close to Memphis. I do think Memphis is still on the bubble right now, but UCF on the outside. I think they're actually below Tulane right now. As far as power rankings, who I would say is better right now, I'd say Tulane's better than UCF, but they're very close. I'm going to have them both missing the tournament here. Next up, we do have Mississippi State. And Mississippi State, similar to Wisconsin, they just took a very downhill turn this year. They were looking like they were going to make the tournament. Had a very good non-con where they went, did they go almost undefeated in the non-con? Right there next to Wisconsin. They're going to miss the tournament. They had a really good start. I do really like head coach Chris Jans. I think he's going to do great things there at Mississippi State as he continues to build that program. But this year, they're just going to miss. Next up, we do have Xavier, and Xavier, very solid team, very, very solid team, but they have been losing as of late, so I worry about them. I worry about them a lot because they did lose to DePaul, and I just feel some type of way about Xavier losing early in the tournament. But right now, I have to put them above UConn. They're at the top, the very top of the good section. I think Marquette's better. I have Marquette in elite. Xavier has to go down to good. Next up, we do have Kentucky. And Kentucky, they've been, winning some games as of late, for sure. I think they should be in the tournament right now. And honestly, I think Kentucky, you could say they might be around the bubble. I would say Kentucky is in right now, but I'm going to have them at the top. I'm going to have them towards the bubble right now. I'm going to have them towards the bubble. They've been winning games. They need to continue to do that to solidify themselves in the good section. I'm just looking at these teams in the good section. I look at Mizzou. Mizzou destroyed Kentucky earlier this year. I'm going to have Kentucky on the bubble right now. Next up, we do have Texas Tech, worst team in the Big 12 this season. They got to go down here in the mist. They're not going to make the tournament this year. Similar to Villanova almost. Big surprise how bad Texas Tech has been. Next up, we do have Ole Miss. Ole Miss, should they disband their program? Probably, but we'll be nice. We'll put them in the miss. Next up, we do have Oregon State. Oregon State definitely needs to disband their program. Then we got Providence. Providence is tough, man. I don't think, I don't think anyone is on Marquette's level right now as far as the Big East. I think Providence is right up here with Xavier and UConn. I'm going to have them in the good section. Right now. Next up, we do have Texas A&M. Texas A&M, I'm going to have them in the good tier. I think, they could be around the bubble, but Texas A&M has been playing. I don't know. I put Kentucky in the bubble. Texas A&M has been playing good. I think I'm going to have to put Texas A&M right here beside Kentucky around the bubble. Depends on how they finish out the year, is if they're going to make the tournament or not. Next up, we do have the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, this is interesting. They play close games against pretty much everyone. I do think, when they're playing their best against top-level competition, they come to play. They showed that whenever they had Baylor in the SEC Big 12 tournament. I'm going to say Arkansas is still well in the tournament, around like an 8 or 9 seed. So they're on the brink of, being a bubble team. But I'm going to have Arkansas as good for now. Next up, we got Arizona State. Arizona State, they've had, a pretty decent season up to this point. And I think right now they're around like a Penn State, Northwestern type of deal on the bubble for me, for sure. Next up, we do have Stanford. I thought Stanford would be a little bit better this year, but they're not making the tournament. Boston College, no way they make the tournament. Butler should probably disband their program, but I'm going to put them in miss. Next up, we got Clemson, and Clemson, they did lose to Miami today. I think they're still well in the tournament. They're probably on the similar level to Arkansas, not talent-wise, but as far as where they're at right now, I'll still put them in the good section. We got Colorado. I don't think they're making the tournament this year. Next up, we got Creighton. Creighton's interesting. Honestly, I think Creighton is in the tournament right now. I don't think they're a bubble team. They've been playing really good lately. They've been on a little bit of a win streak, and they have a really good non-con resume. So I'm going to have Creighton in the good tier. Next up, we do have Cincinnati, and I'm going to have them up here, not as good as UCF and Tulane in the AAC, but I am going to have them in the miss section. Next up, we do have Davidson and another A10 team. Not terrible, but the A10 is just not a good conference this year. I'm going to put them in the miss section. Duke Blue Devils, big win over North Carolina this week. I'm going to have Duke in the good section for sure. Next up, we have Temple. Temple's interesting. They've actually been playing really well in the AAC conference, but I don't really see anybody talking about them being a bubble team. I'm going to put them right up here with Tulane and UCF as just outside as a team to miss. Next up, we have Florida State, and Florida State probably should disband their program, right? Probably should. Next up, we have Georgia Tech. They're not making the tournament. Then we got Houston. They are going to be another team for me in the Final Four. They're going to be one of my Final Four teams. They've looked really good as of late. They went in a tough road environment in Wichita and defeated them. They have Temple the day this video is being posted on Sunday. So we'll see if they beat Temple, especially with Purdue losing. They're probably going to be the #1 team in the country. So hopefully, as this video gets posted, they are beating Temple right now, so I don't look like a complete idiot. Next up, we do have Indiana, and Indiana fans are probably like, you should probably put them in elite tier. They just beat Purdue, who not many teams have beat Purdue, but also Rutgers beat Purdue. I'm going to have Indiana at the top of good. Kind of makes sense. Right there with Xavier. They did beat Xavier in a close one in the non-con. I'm going to put Indiana at the top of good. Iowa, a team that's probably close to the bubble. I think they're similar to Penn State, Northwestern on that type level. I'm going to put them there as a bubble team. Next up, we do have Iowa State, and Iowa State is very solid. They just beat Kansas. I'm going to have them up here with Baylor, Kansas, Texas, all of these top-level Big 12 teams that are playing super good right now are in the elite tier. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 Big 12 teams there. And here's another one, Kansas State, going up right there with them. Kansas State is another elite level team right now. Next up, we do have Utah. Utah, a pretty decent team there in the Pac-12, but I think they're going to have a bad end of the season, so I'm going to have them miss the tournament. Louisville easily needs to disband their program right now. Loyola Chicago missing the tournament in the A10. I could say Loyola, as bad as the season they're having, they should disband their program, but I love Loyola Chicago. I love Sister Jean, so for Sister Jean, I won't have them disband their program. But if Sister Jean were to pass away, as sad as it is to mention that, then, we'd probably have to disband the program after, she would to pass. But she's still alive right now, so we'll have them in the miss section. Next up, we do have the Miami Hurricanes. I'm going to have them in the good section right around where Duke is. I think they're a good team. They just got a good win over Clemson on the road. That's a very good win for them. Next up, we got Michigan State. I'm going to have Michigan State also in the good section. I don't think they're quite on the bubble just yet. Tom Izzo, one of the greatest, man. They're going to be in the good section. NC State, surprisingly off the bubble, they're going to be in the good section as well. NC State's putting together a very solid season. North Carolina, again, another ACC team going in the good section. Just lost to Duke, but still a good team. I think they're well in the tournament right now. Northern Illinois, I don't think they're going to make the tournament this year. Northern Illinois, they've had some good teams that have been in the tournament, in recent years, but this year I don't think. Next up, Notre Dame, maybe they should disband their program, but one bad year, we'll have them down here and miss. Oklahoma State, they've had a good week. They had a really good week. They're definitely on the bubble. They're up here with West Virginia as far as Big 12 teams that are on the bubble. Very, very close up here because they beat Oklahoma bad this week, swept Bedlam on the season series, and they also beat TCU. And I know TCU didn't have Mike Miles, but that is still a very solid team and a very solid win for the Cowboys. Next up, we do have SMU, and honestly, SMU should probably disband the program. Next up, we have Pitt. Pitt is actually on the bubble, I want to say. They might be well in right now, but I'm going to have them towards the top of in the bubble right now. I don't know, guys. I don't think Pitt should on it. They've been playing good in the ACC, but they've had such a bad non-con. Like, they lost to teams like West Virginia by 26 at home this year. But they've been beating so many teams at home. I think they're probably on the good side of the bubble right now. Rhode Island, they're not going to make the tournament this year. San Diego State is a good team. San Diego State, one of the best mid-majors. They're up here, like similar to St. Mary's. They're a good team. Seton Hall, I think they're at the top of Miss. I don't think they're on the bubble just yet. But if they could somehow get on a streak there in the Big East, they could maybe potentially get to the bubble soon. TCU, I don't know if TCU, if they have Mike Miles, and he will be returning, they're on the elite tier with the rest of those Big 12 teams. But right now, I'm going to have them in the good tier because Mike Miles didn't play this week. I'm still going to have them in the good tier, though. Next up, we do have the Syracuse Orange. They're not making the tournament this year. Tennessee, a good team. I'm going to have Tennessee in the elite. They lost to Florida this week, but then they bounced back and beat Auburn. I just think Tennessee's frauds. They're not going in my Final Four. Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech did just beat Virginia yesterday. That's a really solid win, guys. That's a really solid win. Are they in the bubble? They had a really good non-con. I think not yet. I think they're going to go on the top of Miss. I don't think they're in the bubble just yet. Virginia, even after that loss to VTech, I think I'm going to have them in the elite section. We have the Washington Huskies. They're going to miss the tournament. And then we have Wake Forest, who is a really good team. Are they on the bubble at this point? They're probably another one of those teams. I'm going to have them there with Virginia Tech as the top of Miss because I don't think they're quite a bubble team just yet, but they might be getting there. So that's going to do it. We do need one more spot for the Final Four. Houston, Alabama, Purdue are up there good for me. I think they're up there. We need one more team, and I'm between two right now. I'm between Texas and Arizona. Texas had a really good week, guys, and they have sole possession now of that number one spot in the Big 12. Arizona's had a really good week as well. And I think, honestly, since Purdue lost to Indiana, I'm going to move Purdue down to elite, the top of elite, and I'm going to put Texas and Arizona in the Final Four for this week's tier rankings. So that is what the tier rankings are looking like finalized for me. My Final Four. As far as teams that are just performing good this week, man. Hopefully Houston doesn't make me look like an idiot. They beat Temple the day this gets posted on Sunday. Alabama looks really solid. Texas looks very solid. Arizona looks very solid. Purdue, still a very solid team, but they took that loss to Indiana, so they're in the elite section. I really do like how that elite section turned out. Purdue, Kansas State, Iowa State, Baylor, Gonzaga, Kansas, Marquette, UCLA, Virginia, and Tennessee. I think those teams all have potential to make deep, deep runs in this year's tournament. Next up, we have the good section. That good section, all teams, they could make surprise runs from, like a 5 to 8 seed in there as well. Bubble teams, missed teams, and then let's look at all these teams that need to disband their program right now. Vanderbilt, Florida State, Minnesota, Louisville, Georgetown, ECU, DePaul, Oregon State, Cal, and SMU should all probably disband their program. There's been some random ones thrown in there. Like, I don't know how we got East Tennessee State in here and Northern Illinois. Just kind of random, like one team out of the conference. But let me know what you guys think about my tier rankings. Where did I get it wrong? Where did I get it right? Do you guys think my tier rankings are perfect, which is probably going to be thought by nobody? But let me know. These are my thoughts at this point, February 5th in the season. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you guys want to see an updated version of this in a couple weeks. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.